Hey everyone, welcome to part 2 of the Ray Harryhausen 1/72nd scale Rhedosaurus plastic model kit from X Plus. I had just had a long work day, so I might sound a little tired, but I'm going to get through this and we're going to have a lot of fun with it. If you haven't seen part 1, yeah, feel free to go back there and check that one out. Had a lot of fun doing it, and I can tell you right now, the finished kit, by the time this thing is done with, I love it. Not sure when I'll get a chance to build another one, but you know what? I've learned a lot from doing this one, and a lot of things I might do, not a lot, but there's a few things I might do a little bit differently on the next one. Right now, I'm just getting the Lighthouse primed up and painted. I believe this is an off-white. No, it's a medium gray from Vallejo. I'm holding on to that top part because I've got it wired up already, and I didn't want it to fly off of there. It isn't, the pieces of the Lighthouse are not actually glued together yet, so the two halves are right there. There is a pronounced seam which I do my best to try and fill in. Even after it's glued together, there's still a little bit of a seam that I work on. Now this Vallejo Game Color Off-White gets sponged on here, and you can tell that the medium sea green from before, it's a little bit darker after it dries. Not a problem. I'm just going with a light sponge. Gonna get the entire Lighthouse covered with that, and then eventually go in with a little bit of a wash and a technique with a wash and some Noosh from Pro Acryl. So there's where we are right now, and then gluing it together with the help of a zip tie and some rubber bands. And yeah, you can see those seams are still pretty well pronounced, but I'll show you how I try to get rid of them. Not perfect, but it looks a little bit better. With that, I'm using Vallejo plastic putty, but I'm thinning it down and just brushing it on like that. Usually comes out in a little bit of a thicker consistency. So in the meantime, what I'm just going to do is water it down and try and cover up as many of those seams as possible. Yeah, this is the first time I've actually watered down the Vallejo plastic putty, and honestly, it probably won't be the last time I use it like this. Alright, moving on, we got the little sea shack, sea shanty, whatever you want to call it. Just giving a little bit of the Scale 75 Inktense brown, and that'll start the base color for that. In the meantime, some Vallejo Game Color Night Blue. We're going to get a base coat on the beastie himself. Now this color will give it a nice base for the upcoming dry brushing that I'm going to have. You might be able to see some of the blue underneath it. You might not be able to. Certain areas are a little bit stronger than others, but in the end I think I get the result that I wanted. But in the meantime, he's blue. Okay, going back to some more sponging with the medium sea gray. Just very, very sloppy sponging on the base. Not a care in the world for this right now. So just want to get some color on it, and then later on I go in and I add some greens and some more grays and some oils, and just having fun with it. Okay, back to the Vallejo plastic putty. I noticed that the where the Lighthouse actually goes into the base, there is a very pronounced seam right around that circle there. So I figured I'll just go ahead and put some putty in there first, and then some plastic cement onto the that round area on the inside, and just place the Lighthouse right on there. All right, back to our little sea shanty. Just doing some dry brushing with some medium sea green, or sea gray rather. I'm sorry about that. Just want to give it that old weathered gray wood look to it. And I'll be adding a little bit more to that in the future. Then some watered down Citadel shade, Seraphim Sepia, just for some more color. There we go. All right, now this is Procryl Noosh Medium with some Citadel Seraphim Sepia. And I'm going to use this to slather on a nice coating all over the lighthouse. Now, you know I like to use the word slather because you don't get a chance to use the word slather very often these days. So let's slather some on there. It's all good fun. So what's going to happen is I'm going to get this taken care of, and it's going to lightly stain the that off-white texture. All right, going in some leather brown Vallejo model color. Get a little bit on the beastie's face there, both sides of his face. There we go, and a little bit on the body too. And I'm just dry brushing that. You can see a little bit of the that blue still coming through. This is Panzer Ace's Dark Mud from Vallejo. Just going to give this a nice base for the eventual greens to work off of. There we go, get them all over there. And yes, I can see some seams that are kind of apparent. I noticed with this kit, the seams are a little bit more prominent than the Creature from the Black Lagoon from the Revenge of the Creature kit. But you know what, honestly, after you paint it and look at it from a distance, you don't see them. Now, saying that the movie is in black and white, you do have a few creative liberties that you can have. So I just wanted to, I didn't want to go crazy with it, but I figured just add a little bit of color in certain spots, and the rest is just going to be your normal lizard type green and reds and all that. So I got some Vallejo model color hull red. Going to hit those tail spikes there, and right on the face, I got both sides of the face. I did some dry brushing on that too. Since this monster was pretty much a precursor to Godzilla, yeah, I wonder where they got those back spikes from. Who knows? But it's fun to think about it. All right, going with some Russian uniform from Vallejo model color. Just giving a little bit more color here before I start going into the brighter greens. Just want to layer them up like a reverse onion here. Yeah, it was a little bit bigger than I thought it was going to be when I got the kit. But yeah, it's a very iconic scene from the movie. Like I said, it only lasts about 2 minutes, but it's a fun scene, and it was a fun model too. I can't complain about this one at all. Okay, we're getting those brighter greens in there. And there's a couple of spots where the green overtook the hull red, so I eventually go back there and clean that up. And then I take some with the brush, hit it with some of those scales with that same color. Looking good, and doing the same thing with the hull red. I'm using one of these brushes from a company called Orange. I'm not completely sold on them. There were a few. I actually lost a few bristles while I was painting, and then kind of flayed out on me. But if you've used these brushes, focus going in and out. I'm sorry about that. But if you've used these brushes, you've had the same experience, let me know in the comments, because I'm curious about that. All right, getting a little bit of detail painting on them. Then we're going with some light green and start lightening them up a little bit. I didn't want to go too light on everything because the actual scene from the movie is supposed to take place at night. And I wasn't about to do a black and white paint job, but I didn't want them to like really, really bright. I'm just picking out a few more individual scales there. Yeah, this kit took a little bit longer than I thought it was going to, but I was working on it during the holidays and working in a restaurant. November, December, January, yeah, it's mainly work. All right, I'm going to start with the inside of the mouth here. Just some Citadel Kislev flesh. You can hit that tongue. And then I think I go in and get the upper gums and the roof of the mouth. And then we're back to the lighthouse. Doing a little bit of dry brushing with the off-white from Vallejo. Don't want to completely cover up all that wash that I did with the noosh. But I want to just hide a little bit of it. And I had to lift this up because I noticed that if my arm was on my table, my camera is actually on an arm attached to the cable, so as it moved, the camera would move too. Okay, get a little bit more color on the sea shanty, sea shack. Probably has some seashells in there. I need some sleep. Alright, Vallejo mild color gray-green. I'm just getting a few spots here and there. I just want some different tonal varieties on the rocks. Tonal varieties. Good word usage. Ha! And at this time, I just want to thank all the new subscribers. So a big welcome to the Out of This World Models and Minis family and growing community. So, welcome aboard. And get back to our rocks here. Painting rocks. Gotta love it. Yeah, I just want to add a little bit of color, and I figure if it's the rocks by a lighthouse, there's probably some algae growing on them, so algae and some plant life. All right, going in for the window frames here. And like I said in the last video, this is going to be the first time I've actually used these masks from Aztec Dummy. They went on very easily, no issues at all, and hopefully you'll see in the finished product that they're well worth it. So, Lou Del Meso, you are the Aztec Dummy, but you are also the master of these. So thank you so much. Just gonna get those cleaned up there in a little bit on the edges, and then once those are dry, yeah, we're gonna pull those masks off and see what it looks like. Yeah, you can see a little bit of that seam, but did my best. And look at that. This is sped up. I did not go that fast because I didn't want to slice into that clear plastic. But yep, you just take a clean blade and pull those off of there, and hopefully you can see, yeah, there we go. Yep, turned off the lights so you can see the flickering in there. So yeah, success. I'm so happy the way this turned out. And so the masks were not the first ones that I ordered from Lou, but the first ones I've used. I've got a set of generic ones I'm going to use for probably my Liberator from Blake 7 here eventually. Now look at those dirty hands. Jeez. Put some gloves on, dude. Yay! He's coming along. Alright, a little bit of off-white dry brushing. Just to bring up some highlights of those rocks. Okay, time for some enamels now. This is AK Interactive Slimy Grime. This is the dark version. Just using a toothpick to put it on the around the window frames there, and then on the sections of the lighthouse, and I'll get in different areas and corners, and then up on top. Just figure anywhere where algae from the sea would kind of like get swept up with the wind and splash into it and eventually cause it to start greening up like that. There we go. Then for the base, I just took a cotton swab and dabbed it on in certain areas. And then we're just going to clean that up a little bit with some odorless mineral spirits or white spirits. Just using a redactive type technique here. You can use either cotton swabs or clean brush. I just got a brush there with a little bit of white spirits on it. And it's just going to give you that effect of gravity pulling it down. There we go. It's looking pretty good there. All right, a little bit more color on the inside of the beastie's mouth. Some Reichland flesh shade. Get on the teeth, or not on the teeth. He hasn't eaten anybody yet, but on the tongue and the gums. And just doing a little bit of panel line accent on the plaque here. Not a huge fan of plaques, but they're there, so you might as well use them. Alright, the areas where the bricks were broken off on the Lighthouse, I just kind of filled that in with some Citadel Null Oil. This is the original formula. This is not the Null Oil gloss, but just the original formula. I have so much of this stuff, I haven't even bought the new stuff yet, so figure go ahead and use it up and see how it turns out. And I really like what the results gave me. All right, now we're going in with some AK Interactive Slimy Grime. This is the light version, so we got both light and dark. And just put a few spots here and there, just for more color. Yeah, and I actually like the contrast between the light and the dark, so it helps it out a lot. Looking good. All right, now I got the Dirty Down Rust. Gonna put it on this ladder here. Actually, on the top of the ladder, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop it in the two holes that it sets in, and blip, right there. Now when I take it off of there, you're going to see the spots where the Dirty Down Rust was, and I will go ahead and start wiping it down like you've got some rust streaks. And I'm going to put some in the holes there with where the ladder goes as well. Yep, gotta use the Dirty Down. Love this stuff. Get some on the ladder itself. And they're close up there. And now just with water, it's a water-based paint. Just gonna pull some of that orange down and give it some rust streaks. And right after this, I go ahead and put a little bit of streaks in the middle, because I noticed that when I put the ladder in front of it, it kind of hides the streaks that I was trying to accent there. That's okay though. Just a little bit of water just to diffuse those a little bit, and then some rust on the bottom where it would have eventually dripped on the concrete there. Okay, more Dirty Down products. This time we're using verdigris. Just going with the top of the lighthouse there. And I'm not sure if it's actually supposed to be like a copper type look to it or what, but you know what? I always go with the rule of cool. Looks really good, so I'm going to keep on doing it. And we're going to get some more on the some of the other copper sections there on the top of the lighthouse. And then later on, after that's dried, we're going to use a different color to further accent some of that. But I'm a fan of Dirty Down, so I got to use their stuff. Okay, it's mani-pedi time. Our creature needs some fingernails and toenails, and yeah, just basic stuff there. All right, Citadel Shade Careburg Crimson, just for the to redden up the gums where the teeth come together. Looks good. A little bit on his teeth too, no problem there. How you looking, buddy? Arr. All right, some Agrex Earth Shade onto the rest of the fingernails and toenails. Okay, going to do a light sponging of some Citadel Sons of Horus green. I didn't want to go too crazy with this with the pattern or anything. Just wanted to lightly sponge just enough to bring it out. And in the end, I think it was just subtle enough. Okay, then using that same green, I'm just going to add a few scales here and there colored with it, just to help differentiate it and add a little bit more color. But we are getting down to the wire on this one, almost ready for the final reveal. If you made it this far, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. A lot of these videos are rated by how long viewers watch. So if you've made it this far, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. It really helps the channel. But we're going to go ahead and get here with the final reveal. And I really hope you enjoyed this one as much as I enjoyed putting it together and painting it. So you take care. We'll see you in the next one. Hey, if you like the video, check out the selection on the left-hand side, subscribe on the right, and again, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.